Hey fans, this is your good old pal TrainNut85 here, kind of enjoying this nice weather on Sunday, April the 5th, and I'm gonna do something a little different for a little while until this whole thing with this coronavirus kind of dies down. And like I said, I love doing the videos for you guys to keep you all entertained, but I'm kind of at an impasse right now where there's not a whole lot going on, especially as far as train wise, because of this whole madness going on. We kind of lost a few trains and it's been kind of quiet, but I often want to reflect something that I want to tell you all that just close to 10 years, well, over 10 years ago, excuse me, I moved down here from Michigan. Back, in 2009, things are just not going very well economically. And me and Chessie girl, who I used to be with, decided to make a move down here since I had family down here. And needless to say, I researched ahead of time a lot of these areas as far as trains go. And this line right here is what caught my eye the most, the CS6 Chattanooga sub. But anyways, what I'm going to do here differently is, I'm going to tell some stories. Since TN Rails and Tales has got the idea of sharing some stories, I'm going to share some stories of my own. Basically, as you can see here, I'm actually in Cowan. This is where I live at. Love this town. But there's more into why I like coming here and why I've done so many videos over the years of this town. And this might interest anybody, when all this craziness has died off. If you want to go somewhere to see the sights and sounds of things, you got to come here. And I'm going to share a little story with you about how I discovered Cowan. It was back in 2009, right in the month of November. Me and Chessie girl and our friend Larry took a road trip. Wanted to follow the line down to see where it goes. Well, we started in Tullahoma, which is the spot that got me started, and shamefully, I have not rail fanned there since due to personal reasons. And we followed the line down, and my dad kept telling me about this place called Cowan. He says they got pushers there stationed, they got a depot that's now a museum, they got a train display. You gotta go there. That's what my dad told me. And my dad was the reason I got into trains, because I was introduced to various places. Marion, Ohio being my all-time favorite top place, where I got my heavy taste of trains when I was 14. Well, getting back to my story, I mentioned to my friend Larry about that. We got in the car and we drove. We must have drove about maybe over an hour. And we got here, and needless to say, the old signals were still in place. Not the new ones, but the old one was just right by the crossing there. That was sitting up. You had the tower there. The two-track actually started just about where that curve is at, if you can look in closely. And I sit there looking and I said, man, this is an amazing setup. So we sat around long enough, and there was a train that was lined to go south. This is basically where I got my taste of the pusher action. And basically, the train would actually pull down, will go past here, they would stop just either past their next road, which is Bookout Road, or before that, long enough for them to get the pushers put on. And once they were cleared, they'd go right on through. And here are two older GEs, being AC 4400s, posting this train up the grade was just amazing. I sat there for a whole day and I seen, you know, some pretty good trains, and lo and behold, this became a spot for me to come back to. And of course, we got a train, so you'll get to see that. That's actually our pushers coming back. They just pushed one up the hill. But what kept me coming back to this area was just the atmosphere to begin with. I mean, most places you'll be around and train watch, and you come across rude people and like, I don't feel like going back to this, which happened to me in a few places, but this place really stuck to me. It really stuck to me. So I kept wanting to come back. Well, what kept my taste going up was the fact that the tunnel was actually south of town. I was told about the tunnel. I wanted to see this tunnel. Being from Michigan, I mean, I've only seen a road tunnel, which will be the Detroit-Windsor tunnel. That was about it. I've yet to see an actual train tunnel. So my curiosity got the best of me, and my dad got discussing about it one day. And it was April this year. April of 2010, 10 years ago, close to the day. I'm going to pause on this so you get a sight for pushers in there. And we get a Tier 4 Gevo and... So anyways, get back to our sights and sounds here as I was talking about. So anyways, it was around April 10th, looking back at my videos, which another 5 days will mark 10 years since I first went up to the tunnel. Me and my dad made this 2-mile hike. Starting from here, we hiked all the way up. And I'm going to show you real quick. It made this 2-mile hike. I'm going to zoom down here just to show you. Going past that road crossing. Now mind you, that is a nearly 2% grade climb there. This is why they need pushers here. This has been the longest running pusher district. This has been going on since the 1850s when they've had to push trains up here. Now, we made this 2-mile hike going up, and basically we were walking on what was known as the mountain goal line. This was the old Tracy City branch that was around from the 1850s up until 1985 when Seaboard ripped up the line because there was no profit to be made. Businesses went to trucking, so Seaboard didn't see fit in keeping this line. Supposedly there was something in the works where they were going to try and sell a line to make it a tourist attraction, but whoever was trying to come up with that couldn't come up with the funds, so Seaboard said, you know, there's no point in having the line in if there's no business, and tore it up. Well, anyways, it goes right alongside the main, goes up for about a mile or so, and then it splits off. Line curves away. Curves away, it goes right up. That grade right there is more steeper than this one. That grade is actually nearly 3%. And getting up there, it brought us over, and there was a bridge overhead. You have to see it for yourself to know that. Go back in my videos, go back to the Cowan Tunnel, April 10th, 2010. Anyways, I did a video introduction. My dad was right there with me, and we sat there just kind of marveled at the site. It took them 3 years to build this tunnel. They started in 1849 when the line first came here. The surveyors had to go out ahead, and they simply had to plan it. They were going to go over the mountain, but there was too many conflicts with that one, so they said we're going to have to bore right through it. It took them 3 years. It was hand dug. There was no dynamite used in that because of the fact of the stability of the tunnel itself. They had to hand carve it. Now mind you, that's a lot of work versus today. If they were to do something like that, they got the machinery to do it. Back then, they had guys in hard labor trying to build this tunnel. They succeeded, but there was a few deaths in it. Well, getting back to my story here, we sat there and marveled at it, and of course I had my scanner with me. Scanner clicks off, we got a southbound train coming. It's like, oh, this is perfect. I set my old camcorder up. I actually did a recording ahead of time, and like I said, go back in my videos, go to Cowan Tunnel 410, just sit there and listen. I mean, if you're wearing headphones, crank it up. If you got speakers, crank it up. You'll see why I say turn the volume up. The sound is beautiful up there, hearing a train hitting that grade. I mean, it's immense, you know, to hear older GEs struggling up that grade. Now, if you could imagine back then how older locomotives sound, let's say SD40s, U-boats, Dash 7s, I mean, just any old locomotive, I mean, the sound had to have been just enjoyable. So, you get to see that. Train climbs on through, goes right through the tunnel, and you get to see the end of it. I mean, it was just something else. Now, there was a second southbound that came through, and we stuck up there long enough to see that train and came back down. Now, that was one of a few things that got me attached to this town. It's the railroad history. Now, I did a video a while back, you know, inside Cowan. I don't know if anybody has ever watched it, but the reason why I did that is because I want to pour more information for anybody that's curious about this town and the railroad that runs right through it. This place has got a lot of history, and that's actually the place to see it, but right now it is closed until further notice. We would have been opening up regularly, since I am also a volunteer here because I love to help out. Because of this whole coronavirus, our opening regular time has been delayed. So, I mean, if you're planning a trip here, still come, see the trains. You got these on display, you got those on display. I mean, you can still see that, you can get pictures in front of it. We had, there was a little work done to the caboose here recently because some of the wood was rotting out. And like I said, the work on the lettering is still being worked on by my friend Bobby Gass, who's a lifetime member here. Very good friend of mine. I actually consider him a brother. He's actually helped me with a few of the video projects as far as, you know, when we plan trips and implying an idea on it. He also helped me with the Inside Cowan video that I released back in December. But anyways, to me, railroad history makes it more interesting and makes it worth a trip to, well, let's go see this place. But more importantly is, the places like this are what makes rail fanning more fun. Now, I've been going to this town for 10 years now. I actually live here now. I live right here in town. It's been a year for me. Due to circumstances that, well, I chose to come back here because it just seems like, the other town I used to live in didn't fit me anymore. And I rather leave that personal detail out because I don't want to bore you guys. But more importantly is the fact that, this town has much to offer for anybody that wants to do photographs and videos of trains. But needless to say, I got more stories coming, and like I said, for right now, the train action videos, for Trackside Adventures is going to be at a standstill for right now till further notice. But needless to say, I want to keep the videos up, so I'm going to share stories with you guys. And if you guys want a little bit of history, I can do that for you, because I still got about under 5 minutes left on this video. But anyways, this is one of the original Nashville, Chattanooga, St. Louis locomotives. This is number 100, a General Electric 44-tonner built in the 40s or 50s. I think it's the 50s. But about 13 years ago, they first got this locomotive. This locomotive was actually, it wasn't in this paint. It was more of a rust bucket. It actually had quite the career, working a few jobs before it was finally retired and brought here. This is the actual paint scheme that they would have it back then as it looks now. Like I said, this is the original number on it. And this is not much of a looker, but this is a 1940s 40-foot steel boxcar that was built for the NC and C&L. That's the original number. Now, believe it or not, the Tennessee Central Railroad Museum up in Nashville used to have this boxcar on the siding until they wanted to give it to us. Well, we had to do a fundraiser. That was back in 2011 in order to get it. This is where it started it for me, and I was basically hooked. Now, if you want a difference in technology, friction bearings versus roller bearing trucks on freight cars. These are friction bearing. And they give you a nice little detail on that. Back then they would actually stamp the railroad initials on there, telling who it belongs to. Just to kind of give you a little bit of that history look there. I mean, they would actually do these on each of the trucks here. Here's another one. I mean, this is kind of faded, but you can see the letters bolded out. Now, certain other freight cars, if it belonged to a different railroad with those style of trucks, they would actually stamp it. And this caboose right here has had quite the career. It wasn't a caboose, it was actually built as a cattle car. The railroad decided in 1913 to convert a lot of these cattle cars for cabin car use. That was another name for a caboose. And like I said, this is the original number on it. That's the classification number. Now, they didn't think of bay windows back in 1913, but for visibility purposes, that's when they started it. The bay windows didn't really take hold until the 1940s when you saw a majority of them. But like I said, friction bearing trucks. And this is, I'm going to show you this one. This one has got it stamped. This is kind of a little worn out, but you see N and St. L. But this thing actually suffered an accident, and they say here it is. We got a mismatched truck, L and N. That was the road that took over the NC in 1957. But like I said, I mean, this is the things that I'm attached to the most. This flat car right here is actually the old tunnel car. They had a scaffold on it if they needed to do some work at the tunnel. It actually sat down in the yard for a good long while until it was donated here. And this steam locomotive has also had quite the career. Used to work a cement place. It was built in the 1920s. It is a Porter 242, originally built as an 040 before they converted a 242 and then added the tender on it. But this thing was donated here in the 1970s after the depot was moved here, and this is our depot. It actually used to sit right over there, wherever about that bush is at is the original location. Back in 1975 they had to move it. The railroad had quit pasture service, which was the L&N, and they decided, well, they didn't see any use for a depot. Well, the Cowan Beautification Project wanted to save it, and they got up the funds. They done fundraisers and everything else, and lo and behold, it's now here. So anyways, guys, I got more stories coming. This will just be the start of a new thing and all that. I'll keep you posted. If you get a chance, y'all, please like and subscribe if you can. I'm also on the Facebook page. You'll give that a like. I'm also on Instagram under TrainNut Productions. I do post updates on there, even sharing stuff and all that. So for right now, guys, I guess enjoy this lovely weather while we got it here. Thank you for tuning in and my videos. I appreciate all the comments, even to my good friends that I help out in the world of YouTube. This is TrainNut85 signing out for now.